Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mr. Riley coming to you live from the West Coast, the best coast, the West Side. Tonight, we have a pretty cool show, I think. We're going to catch up with Coach Dylan Smith, see what he's been up to, but we're also going to discuss some of our awards. We call this our awards show. So hang tight, and on the other side of the intro, we're going to have myself, Coach Smith, and a whole bunch of awards. So stick around. We appreciate you watching, and welcome to another episode of This Week in Pali Football.
Hey, win on me, win on three, ready, 1, 2, 3. Win! Oh, yeah! Stop playing with a piece! 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 Stop playing with a piece!
Some call it the gridiron.
Nice route, way to skim it.
Others, 100 yards of pain.
Ah, too much.
We just like to call it football.
Football.
With Facebook James.
Football, baby.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of This Week in Pali Football. As you heard the announcer, Facebook James, Mr. Riley, hey, it's all good. Whatever you call me, just don't call me late for dinner. We're here with another wonderful episode. We have Coach Smith. We're going to talk about some awards. And, you know, it's just been just a wonderful time as we wrap up the football season. Now, of course, the big boys, the NFL is, the Super Bowl is couple of weeks away. And so we've had a couple of crazy, championship games, playoff games to get down to the final two. So, if you're a Chiefs fan, I know you're excited, you're hyped. And of course, if you're a 49er fan as well, part of that gang, 49er gang, I'm sure you're happy as well. So, yeah, it looks like it's going to be like a West Side kind of Super Bowl. The Chiefs from Kansas, well, that's kind of Midwest. And then, of course, the San Francisco 49ers coming from the Frisco area. They'll both make the trek over to Las Vegas. And, they're going to have a whole bunch of goodness going on over there, a whole bunch of dancing and reveling and partying and just, and they'll probably play some football eventually. So it's going to be a wonderful time in the next couple of weeks. So, we'll just have to wait and see what happens to the big boys next season. Of course, they have all these conspiracy theories about the Super Bowl and the colors of the logo and this and that and the other. Hey, I'm sure if you're a football fan, you just want a good game. And so that's what we're going to check out. I was very disappointed that my Cowboys didn't make it. And, I'm just shaking my head. I mean, how does the number 7 seed come home, just go to your spot, and just do what they did. I mean, just crazy. So Dallas, y'all need to get it together. Jerry Jones and the boys, get it together. So hopefully, we'll see some different results next year. Because of course, year after year, we're always saying we're going to the Super Bowl. This is our year. But it's not. So, but congratulations, Chiefs. Congratulations, 49ers. And we just hope to see a wonderful, wonderful football game. Now, we did not come here to talk about pro football. We came here to talk about Palisades Charter High School football. And so we haven't really been on screen since the Gardena game. And, it was a disappointing loss. I'm sure the Pali football faithful were very, very disappointed. But, I mean, it was a wonderful season. And so we have Coach Smith. And let's go ahead and bring in Coach Smith right now. And let's see if I can get him on. There we go. Hey, Coach Smith, what's going on?
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Good to see you
Much here
tonight.
No problem.
So, since the Gardena loss in the playoffs, man, what have you and the football team been up
to? Not much. We really just been starting after the winter break, starting to pick it up a little bit. I gave them some time off after the Gardena game, and just relaxing. A couple kids did some All-Star games. Braden and Evan, they played an All-Star game out in Birmingham High School, so that was good to see. And just the rest of the kids took some time off. And then, like I said, once school started back up, we started 6th period lifting and conditioning, and about to start the 7-on-7 real soon. So just been kind of trying to get a field to practice on right now since we can't use ours. So that's been the biggest hurdle. But, just resting and, like I said, just really starting to pick up right now.
Absolutely. Now, let me ask you, how are you doing? I mean, you spent some time the first year at Pali with the boys, and a heartbreaking loss. They came out, they just didn't have enough in the tank. How are you feeling? Have you kind of regrouped and recharged since our last football game?
I have. I guess I took a lot of time off to myself to just really relax. It was a very, I shouldn't say long year. It went by really fast, but it was a lot of work that had to be done. Trying to get my system implemented first year, and just not a lot of rest, preparing for games, preparing for everything that was going on off the field as well. So, now that that's kind of out the way, this transition's been a little bit easier going into season 2. So, like I said, just once a rest from last season, and now it's time to pick it up again.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was a wonderful game. And, I think I'm trying to remember. I think we might have gone live since the game. I think we had one post game interview. It was funny. I'm still just tripping off of some of the Gardena players being on that live stream and kind of discussing their participation in that game. So it sounds good. Of course, I'm sure you kind of got a sense of what Pali football is all about. Now, I always tell parents, especially new parents, the football season, once it starts, it goes really, really quick. And so, you just kind of express those terms. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that you had some success. Just again, talk about some of the goodness about Pally football, and then some of the things that you kind of want to change going into our second year.
The good stuff. I mean, just the way the community, the parents, the school has embraced me personally. I work on campus now, and everybody from security guards to students, faculty. I mean, they love what we did this year on the football field and what we're doing off the field. The kids, for the most part, well, I should say most part, the kids have been great. As far as on campus and being respectful, which I really appreciate. Um, I want people to see Pally football and be proud of what we're doing off the field as well as on the field. So that's been really good. And what's the second? I'm sorry. What was your second part of your question?
Just some of the ebbs and flows, some of the good things and bad things about, or some of the things you look to improve on going into year
Oh,
two.
yeah, just the off season workout. I know we didn't really have one going into last year. Just before I got hired, just the off season program just really wasn't as strong as it should have been. And I'm really trying to change that this year. Just more of a, 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 a season off season program where we can do it year round. I'm making it mandatory for the kids to run track, which is a lot different from the past. We just need to get faster. We need to get stronger. I told our kids already. It's like every team that we lost to this year, their whole team runs track. I know the Brentwood kids, they all run track. I know the Granada Hills team, they run track. We saw that running up and down the field against us, and and I believe Gardena, that their team runs track. So we just got to get faster. We got to get stronger. The kids are buying in. They're excited about the off season. Every kid I see, they're like, man, I can't wait till next season. So I think this year's going to be a really, really fun season.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking forward. And just for those of you who are doubting, I'll still be around for another couple of years. My nephew's he's on the squad, so and maybe after, I mean, Friday night football at Pally is kind of interesting, and so there's several other media guys who their children went to Pally and they've long gone, but they're still coming out. Taking photos of the boys and all that kind of good stuff. So, but at least right now, you got you got Mr. Riley for at least 2 years, so that's good. All righty, so let's go ahead. I don't want to make this a very long live stream tonight. I really want to focus on some of the accolades that our boys, they were selected to win certain things, and so usually at the end of the season, there's something called the All Western League and All City League, and so. Coach, if you can kind of explain just some of those accolades, and then we'll kind of, talk about some of the boys who were selected to that first and second All Western League team.
Yeah, I'm proud of what these kids did. We had several kids on win offensive lineman, defensive lineman of the year. I think Evan Norberg, he won defensive lineman of the year for Western League. Alfonso won offensive lineman of the year for Western League. Evan won. Get ahead of myself. But Evan won defensive player of the year. Oh no, I'm sorry, defensive lineman of the year for All City. And then we had Braden, who was all Western League first team. Terrell, All City, All Western League first team. So we had a whole lot of kids, more than I expected to make it on that team. So I'm just proud of the effort they put in. It was a really exciting year for our team.
Absolutely, and it seems like you were about to take some of my thunder.
So I'm getting ahead of myself, so I had to stop. Sorry about that.
So here, let's go ahead. But first, before we talk about the boys, let's talk about you, Coach. Being recognized as the coach, the Western League Coach of the Year, man. Congratulations again. Let me see if my button is going to work for me. Congrats,
Thank
man.
you.
How did it feel to be selected as Coach of the Year for the Western League from a group of your peers who are out there coaching with you or against you?
Yeah, no, it was when I found out in the meeting, it was unexpected, to be honest with you. Um, it was, I've known Angelo for a long time, and being in the meeting when he voted, it was, it was a good feeling because, like I said, I've known him for a long time. He's been a great coach. I'm sure he's won the award numerous times, and just to hear, yeah, congratulations from him was a real honor. So, um, I didn't expect it my first year. I just wanted to, a 500 season really to go in to see what I have. But the season we had, and it goes to the credit to the other coaches as well. I really couldn't have done it without them. And Coach Solomon, from the first day I got hired and being on, he was like, "What do you need, Coach? Whatever you need, I got you." Just anything I asked for, he was there to help me. Extra hours. We had our Saturday night practices, and he was there every Saturday helping out. Coach Reed and Coach AJ on the defensive side really just continue what they've done the last couple of years with that defense. And the new coaches, Coach Julian, Coach Musa on the line. We only had 3 sacks the whole year. That you know that
That's awesome.
that's unbelievable. So Coach Musa really did a great job with that line, and Coach Dwight and Coach Featherstone on game day helping us out up in the booth. So it was a group effort. I know my name's on the award, but it's really a group effort. I couldn't have done it without those guys, and of course the players who make us look good at times.
Absolutely. No, it's well deserved and definitely unexpected. So again, congrats and let's go ahead and get another Coach of the Year next year. You know what I'm saying?
Trying to make that three-peat too in the following year as well.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about some of our players. So you kind of alluded to some of your offensive linemen and defensive linemen. Let's talk about this guy right here, Alfonso Orozco Jr., number 50. I think they call him Jelly Roll, right?
That's right, Jelly Roll. Yeah.
Just talk about the heart of this guy.
He no, he's going to be missed. Playing center is just like another quarterback on the field, and he was making calls. Excuse me. At times where the quarterback didn't see certain things. Him and Roston were there making calls, and Dylan were making calls for the quarterback. We watch film, and he's 10 yards down the field still making a block, and he's not the biggest kid. He's not the tallest, but you would never know it just the way he plays. And this award was definitely well deserved, and he also got the Pancake Award for our team. So, just really proud of everything he's done this year for us.
Nice, absolutely. And I do want to stop here. I'm not too sure if Michael Butler is still watching, but I tried to post your comment a couple of minutes ago, and for whatever reason, man, the live stream software just wouldn't pop up. But I recognize you and thank you for being here. And those of you who are watching, go ahead and just let us know. Just say, hey, what's going on, Coach? What's going on, Mr. Riley? And that'll be very, very cool. So, Michael, I do want to acknowledge you. I know you popped on a couple of minutes ago, so I just want to acknowledge your presence. So, yeah, that's cool. Jelly Roll, definitely, one of the, well-liked team, players of the team. And I can just remember his interception.
Yes.
A pick six. I think it was.
Scoop and score. Scoop and score, yeah.
Yeah, so I know the boys were hyped and excited. And so congratulations to the offensive lineman of the year, Alfonso Orozco. All right, so let's keep it going. Let's see, who else? The defensive lineman of the year, Evan Nierenberg, number 14. Go ahead and talk about Big Evan.
I don't know. I mean, you can say so much. Not only is he, great in the classroom. I think he has a 4-point-something GPA, which is amazing.
Wow.
We couldn't have done a lot of things we did this year without him. Timely sacks, just making it hard for the quarterback to be comfortable. I think he led the city in tackles for losses, led the league in tackles for losses.
Wow.
Anytime we needed a big play, he was there. And defensive ends, you can make a big impact sometimes, or teams want to run away from you. Sometimes you don't get the stats that you normally get, but I mean, this kid was everywhere, chasing down from the backside, front side. I mean, you really couldn't run the ball without him being in your face. So, like another kid we're going to miss next year, and just it was sometimes you just watch him instead of as a coach, you just watching that guy to see what he's going to do, and he's one of those type of players.
Yeah, and he even missed several games at the beginning of the season due to injury.
Yeah,
So for him to become to be named the defensive lineman of the year, that's tremendous. Just think about the
absolutely.
games that he missed and what impact he probably would have had on those games.
Yeah, he missed the Granada Hills game, and I guarantee you that would have made a difference if he played in that game. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, the stats he put up in what 8 games because we only played 9. So, yeah, the stats he put up in 8 games is just unbelievable.
Absolutely. So congrats, and that's Corey Adams, baby. Every time she doesn't make the games, but she's definitely online watching. So
Yes.
Corey Adams, shout out to you. That's your big boy right there, Evan Nirenberg. So congrats to the defensive lineman and the offensive lineman of the year from Pali, the Western League. Offensive and defensive lineman of the year. Okay, so let's get into the first and second team guys. Man, Terrell Watson, running back. First team. Talk about this guy for a little bit.
This is his first year playing high school football. He's playing Pop Warner, but this is his first year playing high school football. You would never know it. I posted on Twitter he would run through a brick wall, and I believe that. Just like I said, even at his size, little bulldog, he would run right through you. And I guess I never forget that Venice game. We needed a first down. It was fourth. It was 4th and 1, and I had no, there was no second guessing. Give this kid the ball and let him run, and he gave us I think 5 or 6 yards, and he did it all season long. He kind of battled a knee injury towards it after the Hamilton game, but you'd have never known it just the way he runs the ball. And he works hard, and he's only a junior, so it's going to be really nice. I feel sorry for a lot of defenses next year having to, scout this kid. So
Yeah.
just really proud of what he did this year.
Yeah. Now he definitely has the it factor, and he reminds me of several past Pally football players. Just his ability to get loose, and once he's loose, then you really have to track him down because he has a little speed on him. So, congrats, and he's unassuming. He just he's not cocky. He's just like, hey, he just steps on the field and does his thing. So that's kind of what I like a lot about our boys. They just come out and show their stuff. They're not looking for all the fame and glory or whatever. They just step on the field and do their thing. So Terrell is definitely
Yeah,
one of those guys.
absolutely.
So let's go ahead and move on to our next. The guy Braden, we were talking about him in the green room before. Talk about this dude, man. I just love his attitude and just his way that he went about his business on the football field.
Yeah, it was funny. He was in my interview process, and everything he said he wanted to do in that interview, he did all season long. He wanted to be a captain, and he worked hard. I think he worked harder to try to be a leader and a captain than he did anything else. And there was times where we had to pull him to the side and say, "Hey, do it this way, do it this way." He's like, "Yes, coach, no problem." He changed it, and that's what he did. And the kids really looked up to him and went to him for advice. And there was times, there was a couple of weeks where he missed a few games for his ankle, and he was out there coaching the kids, and telling them how to do things like another coach out there. So just proud of everything he's done, and not just being a leader, just his athletic ability. He catch the ball when we needed him, third down. That was Roman's comfort zone, and anytime we needed, first down or a big play, he was there to make it. So really excited to see what he's going to do next year, and just proud of everything he's done this year.
Absolutely, yeah. I love his spirit, and this is another guy who missed several games due to injury as well. So I'm sure he would have had a few more opportunities to pad his stats had he if he was available and not injured. So I love the way he played on the field, and he was definitely the heartbeat, one of the heartbeats of this football season, football team this past year. Michael says, "I'm a Pally alum." Let me see if I can pop it up here real quick. Let me get my stuff going on here. Let me see. Michael says, see, I don't even know why. Oh, I think I know why. I might need to make it slightly bigger. Let me see. There we go. Michael says, I'm a Pali alum, but now I'm on the opposite side with my son at Hamilton. Let me make it a little bit larger so I can see that you guys couldn't. So yeah, so it's all good, man. Once a Dolphin, always a Dolphin, and this time it'll make it. We'll make the win against Hamilton uh, this much sweeter because you'll have to come to Pally. So, but it's all good. That's if your son is playing football. I'm just assuming, but yeah, we appreciate you, and have always been go Dolphins. Okay, so that's Braden. Awesome dude. Um, okay, so we're still first team linebacker, part of the defensive core. Let me take care of some housekeeping business real quick. Okay. Part of the linebacking core, Jake Tribash. Man, what can you say about Jake, man? I love, again, I love his spirit. I love his family. What can you say about this dude?
I love his attitude. I mean, just first off, when you meet him, he's all smiles. Probably one of the most coachable kids I've ever had pleasure of coaching. Just always willing to help any way he can. Not selfish at all. Just loves football, loves being in the gym. Just wants to help any way he can. And um, somebody like that who's also a great football player just makes it that much better to coach. And he's only a junior too, so I can't wait to see what he does next year. I hope he's not listening, but we're going to try him at tight end next year so he doesn't hound me about it. But, just, after that, you just want to have on the field anyway, at all times. So just really looking forward to see what he does next year. He's, so excited. Every time I see him at school, he's like, I can't wait to next year, coach. I'm excited. So just really proud of the way he played this year as well.
Absolutely. No, and I'm looking in this picture. He's getting a little definition in the arms a little bit. The off-season conditioning can do him well because he looks like he's ready to go. So anxious to see his progress next season or in the fall on the football field. So let's keep it going. Okay, this dude Saxon Wald, defense, another linebacker.
He played free safety for us a lot this year. Actually, he had a couple of big hits. I told the team, I said before a couple of games kickoff, I said I need a big hit. We got to start fast. If you get a flag, don't worry about it. I'll run on Monday. And I think that Brentwood game, he tried to decapitate somebody and got a flag. Wasn't mad at him, but he just kept playing and had a couple of big hits against Venice. I think it was the St. John's game too. He had big hits. So, anybody coming over across the middle and seeing number 3, those alligator arms went up. So, just another kid with a great attitude, coachable, and yes sir, no problem, coach. Just anything you ask him to do, he'll do it.
Absolutely. So congrats, Saxon Wald. And actually, this is my first time seeing Saxon on the football field. I'm not too sure if he played last year for Pally, but I can tell. I think this was the same student who was out there. I think the same guy when I went out there during summer. I was like, okay, who's this big dude out here? I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And he was practicing with some tenacity. So I was just like,
Definitely.
all right. And he definitely played his heart out. Stellar defensive player, and he gave it his all during the football games as well. So congratulations to Saxon. And then this dude right here, Spoon.
Spoon's funny. He makes me laugh a lot, but he's definitely a character on the team. But another kid, anytime you need a big play, he was there to make it. I think he just loved being on the football team. Loved being on the field. I don't think he came off the field except for offense. He was on every special teams we had as long snapper or kickoff return, and then make big plays on defense for us. I remember that Venice game. We were walking to the other side, and I said, "Spoon, I need something right now." And the very next play, you got to pick. Just having guys like that on defense, just makes your job so much easier. And another kid with a great attitude and always smiling, always joking. So it was definitely a pleasure to have him on the team.
Yeah. No, I can remember last year he had this tremendous hit on the guy on an offensive player. I mean, just laid him out, and that was one of my favorite memories of this guy. But yeah,
Mm.
he's always on the field, always smiling, and to look at him, you wouldn't think he's a football player, but no,
Right.
when he steps on the field, he's all about that business. The saying goes, I'm standing on business. Nah, this
Right.
dude right here, he's
Definitely.
definitely one who stood on business, and he represented, his position very, very well. All right, so let's
Definitely.
go through. We've got a couple more. Um, okay, so now we're into the second team.
Mm.
Roman Lascala. What can you say about Roman, man? I mean, Roman, he was doing his thing. He, you know, uh, uh, I'm trying to make sure I say the right words. I loved his tenacity. I loved his leadership on the field, and he didn't let anybody rattle him, especially in the defense. And when you guys were in precarious situations, either a win away or a couple of points. He was just like, "Look, I'm gonna be steady as the wind, and I'm gonna do what I need to do. I'm gonna count on my guys, either my running back or I'm gonna throw a short pass." So, enough about me talking about this dude, because I've seen him for a couple of years now. Go ahead and give us your thoughts about Mr. Roman Lascala.
Yeah, I've known Roman since he was a freshman in high school, and seen him play and work with him, and just proud of everything he's done the last 4 years. You know, he got a lot of flack from people because he didn't play as well as he did last year, and I take a lot of the blame for that because he didn't really get the coaching. None of the quarterbacks got the coaching they should have because I was doing running backs, offensive coordinator, and quarterbacks. So it was really hard for them to get that one-on-one time that they needed, and for him to not get that time, I thought he did a phenomenal job. And he was a little uncomfortable. He had a great first game. He got a little uncomfortable towards the middle of the season, but then I told myself, maybe the fastest guy on the team. Just use your legs, move the chains. And he did that, against Venice. He really started to feel comfortable. He was using his legs, moving the chains. He scored a touchdown, got his first key first downs. Gardena, same thing. So towards the end of the season, I think he really, started to get comfortable, and he played really good the last few games of the season. Now, just really proud of everything he's done. Um, quarterback's not an easy position to play, and
Absolutely.
especially when everybody wants the ball and everybody wants you to do this. You have so many people in your ear, and sometimes, I'm like, do you ever get rattled or upset? Like, he doesn't really. He's just one of the coolest, calmest kids I've ever been around, and you know, sometimes he gets a bad rap for not caring, but he does. He cares probably the most on the team. It's just that's his demeanor, and just that's what you need as a quarterback. Somebody doesn't get rattled, and that can step it up at when things are going bad. And he did a great job of that. So I'm really proud of
Absolutely.
him.
Absolutely. You said what I couldn't say. Because you have that perspective, spending a lot of time with him, day in and day out on the practice field, on the playing field. And so, no, he was definitely a gamer. And I totally agree with everything you just said in terms of, again, he's just out there, he wants to win. He might not, he's not going to fire up the folks,
Right,
he's going to leave that to Spoon and some of the other guys, right? He's going to leave it up to Braden. He just steps on the
right,
field and does his thing, and that's what he did.
absolutely.
Past 2 seasons being the varsity quarterback. So, awesome job. All righty. So Denise was like, "What about the sensible player?" That's and then Marche Webb says, "I miss my nephews, but let's go. 15 tea time. Absolutely. No, we definitely gave him some love. Okay, so let's go ahead. So this dude right here, second team, All Western League running back Harrison Carter. He has, I think, 2 more years left on the squad, right?
Yeah, he'll be a junior next year, and no, he he didn't come out much during the summer, so I didn't really know much of him. I didn't, I knew he was a running back. People kept saying that's going to be your running back next year, and then that's before Terrell came out. So it's really I didn't know really how to use him, to be honest with you. And we tried him at running back. He didn't get much playing time in the beginning because Terrell was doing so well. And then towards the middle of the season, we started using him at slot receiver. I think Hamilton was the first game, and he had that like 90-yard touchdown catch, and I was like, okay, it's going to be one of our hybrid players. So we moved him around a lot, and kind of started it a little too late. So now I know what to do with him next year. But he's a track guy. He's fast. I don't know what. He can catch the ball. He can run routes. Just very versatile and very quiet, so you can't get much out of him. Great kid. All these kids are respectful, but he really is. And I'm definitely going to use him a lot more in the slot and backfield, move him around. So his usage is going to be a lot more than it was this year. And just really happy the way he played and the patience he showed, because it's hard playing behind a starting run back and not getting a lot of touches and still showing up to practice every day and not giving up. So really happy the way he handled himself this year.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more with your assessment. Definitely a hard worker. And see, parents, that's what we're talking about. You got to make sure, especially when the real practices begin, get your kids out there at the beginning of, and when we're calling in May and June and July for those summer practices, because if you don't show up, there's no way that the coaches will know what the kids can do. So that's just, he just kind of made the commercial, and he found a gym. Harrison was a gym, but, it took a while. And like you said, awesome dude. He's quiet. He's humble. And again, he just brings his lunch pail and, hits the field and, gives it his all. All righty. So let's move on. I think we're into some defensive players right now. Oh, I'm sorry. No, this dude right here, Jaden Williams. Transferred last year from Westchester. Talk about big number 8.
Yeah, Jaden's fun. So Jaden did not want to play wide receiver. He, during the summer, he was starting wide receiver, and then I would look around. Next thing I know, he's trying to guard the receivers. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Get back on offense. He just kept saying, coach, I don't know. We got like 20 receivers. I don't know, coach. I'm like, Jaden, just trust me. Just try. Just get on receiver. You can do it. He's like, all right. Couple times he would go and then creep himself back on defense. I'm like, Jaden, just trust me. You can do it. I wouldn't put you out there if you couldn't do it. So after that day, that last talk, he stayed on the offense. He kept grinding. And all of a sudden he's on second team All Western League. So I'm really proud of the way he handled himself. He just didn't have that confidence in the beginning. He started getting that confidence, and then he was like, coach, give me the ball. So not only did he, learn how to play wide receiver, he learned to talk wide receiver, because everybody wants to play wide receiver. So just proud of the way he stuck in there and, worked his butt off. And, he's a great receiver. He's really trying to get into school right now to play. He really wants to play. So just so happy where he started and his confidence and where it is now. His confidence is night and day right now, and just hope a coach really takes him in, because he'll be a help on somebody's team.
Absolutely. I gave Jaden a lot of flack during the games, because sometimes there were some balls. I'm like, Jaden, catch the ball. Come on, man. You can't have bricks as heads. Catch the ball. I'm like, oh, okay, man. Okay, Mr. Riley. So some players you can't do that, because they'll just be like, oh, they'll get attitude. But Jaden's one of those guys that you can say that to, and coming from being an outsider, not being a coach, he could take it and kind of ha, and so that was good to see. And then also I worked with his mom, and so every time I see her, after the every Monday after the games, I'd be like, what's up with your boy? She was like, I know he tried, or on the flip side, you see him catch that pass. I'm like,
right. So, and his uncle also let me know how good he was too. So
his uncle lets everybody know.
I love his uncle. He's a good dude, but I can hear him. He's the one I can definitely hear at the very top yelling. So definitely gonna miss that voice next year.
But we can always have him come back. We'll have him come back.
It's all right. No.
Absolutely. No, Jaden and his family is real cool. So congrats.
Yeah, they are.
All righty. All right, so we got Roston, O lineman, big dude, kind of unassuming man. Talk about this dude and just his contribution to the team last year.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Roston probably could have been our MVP this year. I mean, the things that he did offensively, like I said earlier, when talking about Fonzo changing the plays and getting us in better position. I mean, he was almost changing the Venice game. I think he was calling more plays than the quarterback was. To be honest with you, we call a play and I give them the option of changing it if they see something different. And Roston said, "No, we can't run this. Let's run that." And we get 5-6 yards every time. So if Roston wants to coach, I think he can do it because he was real big help for us this year. And um, that Venice game, that 4th-and-1 I was talking about, I think we called timeout, and I said, "I'm running right." No, he said, "Coach, run behind me." And I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "If you run behind me, we're gonna get this first down." And I called the play right behind him. He pulled, and we got that 5 or 6 yards. So, um, he's definitely gonna be one we're gonna miss next year. Just not physically, just mentally helping us get in a better place. So, right, I'm really proud of Roston.
Absolutely, and coach, I know all of we oftentimes say something like that in terms of you're going to miss this guy, and you wish you can have him be a part of the next team. But trust me, somebody's going to pop up and fill that void for Roston and fill that void for Braden. I mean, because you got some dogs. You already talked about Harrison and some of the other guys, Terrell, and so it's going to be a wonderful team. Somebody's going to pop
Yeah,
up and fill that void. So
it definitely.
that's
Yeah,
kind of been the history of Pali football, and I'm sure it's kind of like that just about on every football team or every sports team as well.
right. Yeah, and I don't mean to say that to discredit what we have coming up. I'm very confident in what we have. You know,
You just
me
hate
being
to
my
see him
first year
go.
and having him, yeah, just having him around, just laughing and joking with him, and just one of those kids. Someone's like your kid going to college, you're just gonna miss him.
Yeah,
Even though you
absolutely.
got other kids, in the house, you just gonna miss that one that leaves. So
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
definitely.
Oh, I can tell you some stories about that, but anyway, we're not gonna go there. We're not gonna go there tonight. All right, let's go with the next one. Jesse Ennis, man, I mean, he was super dope last year. Just outside perspective, he wasn't he wasn't into it as like he was last year. Last year, Jesse was all over the place, right?
Yeah,
Not to say that he wasn't, but just the stats. When I look at some of the
right.
stats, they just showed me a slightly different Jesse this year than from last year. But you see him more often than I do. Am I kind of correct on my assessment of Jesse this year?
Yeah, I didn't see. Obviously, I didn't see Jesse much his sophomore year, but I heard a lot of great things about him, obviously, and sometimes to me stats kind of are misleading because you can run away from a player. If you're game planning to run away from them, they're not going to get the tackles that you get. It's like Dion. He probably could have had more interceptions if they threw it to him more, but they didn't. So his stats looked a little different, but Jesse was always near the play, if anything. He was never out of position. He was always there. You never looked at the film and said, "Jesse, what are you doing?" He was always in the right place. He was calling the plays. He's putting people in the right direction. So sometimes stats don't really show you how big of an impact a player can make, and he's definitely one of those players.
Yeah, that's the way to put me in my place, Coach. I appreciate that. Like, shut up, dude. What you talking about? No, absolutely. Because I would see. I mean, he's running all over the field, and like you said, he might be running away because they know the legend of Jesse from last year, right? It's like,
Right.
okay, now we gonna go the opposite way, But if they went that way, then they might catch Jake or somebody else. So it's
Right.
all good. But no, this dude definitely well rounded, well versed, and just awesome mindset. He knows
Yeah.
the game of football, and so definitely look forward to seeing him next year in the senior season. Just ball out as
Definitely.
well, and Jesse's my dude. I was expecting him to be the season leader in tackles this year, just only
Mhm.
because my boys play defense, and I was like, okay, Jesse's gonna be the man. But he
Right,
still was the man because, like you said, he was calling plays and doing other things other than the glamorous stuff. So awesome
right.
job, Jesse. Keep it up. We look forward to seeing you next year on your senior campaign. All righty. And we might have one more. Oh, okay, Cash. That's right, Cash. Actually, we got two more. Okay. Go ahead, Coach. Talk about Cash Allen's just his demeanor this football season.
Yeah, Cash is another one. Like you said, you look at the stats and you know the impact that he puts on the game doesn't really show, and um, it's really nice to have Jesse and Cash being having 2 years of experience because next year they're gonna. I can close my eyes and go to sleep at night knowing I have Cash, and Jesse and Jake as 3 year starters, and Cash, he probably has one of the nicest families, nicest people. Him and his brother, like just the nicest people. And um, like I said about Jake, being as nice as they are and having that work ethic, wanting to work. I think he's going to be one of our captains next year, a leader. Just the way he works hard, and his football mind is up there too. And he'll put his head in there and get dirty whenever he needs to. And it's been a pleasure just having that anchor, in the linebacker core. So I'm really looking forward to see what he's going to do next year.
Absolutely, absolutely. Cash is a baller, and I can tell by the definition in those arms. Man, he's gonna be. They're gonna look good. Without the pads on. So you got Jake, you got Cash, you got Jesse, and
Yep.
then you got this guy right here,
Oh yeah.
dude. I've known him since last year. Last year, against I think they played San Fernando. He had either one or two pick sixes. He was just all over the place. So to see him this year as a sophomore, it kind of reminds me of my second son, Cy, who played linebacker, and he just came in and learned his first year, but then he had
Right.
2 solid years, and I'm sure that's going to be the same thing for Isaiah. Being a sophomore, but he's going to have 2 more years as a linebacker. Just talk about this dude and his contribution to the football team this season.
Well, he's actually a cornerback. Plays corner, but funny story. When I was at Brentwood, I was the head coach for the JVs, and I was calling the plays when we were playing Pali, and he kept looking over the sideline when I was doing my signals. I didn't think anything of it. Next thing I know, I'm calling the play, and he looks at the teams like, this means right, this means left, they're doing this, they're doing that. And I'm like, this kid like literally picked up on my signals that fast. Like he's a very intelligent football player. I literally had to change the whole my game plan just because of him. We had to huddle and just totally mess us up. Messed us up. Just a really smart player and a kid who really wants it. Like he really wants to play college football, and I think he's definitely gonna do it. Just his work ethic, and he's playing travel football right now, and in the weight room, trying to get him on the track team. Just probably, he is probably the smartest football player I've been around, and he's really hungry. He really wants it. So I cannot wait to see the next 2 years of how he going to go up, and that's a scary thing for a lot of teams. So
Yeah.
I really can't wait to see what he does next year.
I can't wait. And so, I'll be around for 2 years watching Mr. Isaiah do his thing, and maybe you put him in at a linebacker spot. Maybe he's a hybrid. I don't know, but I just know he has a good mindset for the game. And I think one day last year after the season was over, I think it was a matter of 2 or 3 days. I'm not too sure where I was, but I kind of saw it. I think I was around campus and I saw him. He had his cleats, and I'm like, dude,
Yeah,
the season just ended. But he's
right.
like, look, I'm trying to get it in. I'm trying to get that work in so that I can be better for next season. So, Isaiah, congrats, and not only the second team but the first team. And man, I think that was the last one. Let me double check. Yeah, that was the last one. Okay. Coach, we've covered a lot of folks. I think you and I might have to do a follow up because we also have some all city players, and I don't have their graphics. So maybe that's what we'll do next week, Coach. We'll sit in. We'll talk about the all city players, and let's kind of love on them a little bit, give them some accolades as well. It might be some of the same folks, but now we're talking about the city, which is different from the Western League, because the Western League we only talked about the 5 or 6 teams in our league, and so all city, are all those guys who went to the playoffs in our division. So let's talk about them next week, Coach.
Sounds good.
Okay, and that way that'll give me some time to create the graphics and post them,
No problem.
all that kind of good stuff. So other than that, Coach, that's all I have. Man, I appreciate you hopping on again on a Wednesday night. And those of you who are watching, thank you, Denise, for being patient, for watching. Thank you, Michael, Robert, what's going on? And those of you, let me see. I'm trying to look at my phone from afar, and it's not quite working. So let me have to put my phone a little bit closer. Hey, Daryl Thomas, what's up, sir? Marseille Webb and Lavetta Harris, thank you guys for watching. Of course, my man Michael up top and Tiffany Williams is watching as well. So we appreciate you guys giving us a couple of eyeballs tonight. Tune in next week. Next week, we're going to talk about some of our all city players, and then we'll talk about what's happening during this time between now and next football season. What should be happening, what's going on, and all that kind of good stuff. So stay tuned. Coach, do you have any last words?
No, I'm just really excited about this all season. Kids are excited. Got a lot of work to do, obviously. Just, things are going to be a little different. I told the kids I'm going to coach a lot harder this year, so they're up for the task. And I think everybody will see a better product on the field this year.
Absolutely. Sounds good, Coach. Well, for Coach Smith, I am Mr. Riley. I'm signing off from the West Coast, the best coast, the West Side. We'll see you next week at 7 p.m., and we'll have another episode. We'll talk about our all-city players and what should be taking place between now and next fall. So, again, thank you guys for watching. And as always, go Pali. See you next week.
Hey, win on me, win on 3, ready, 1, 2, 3. Win! Yeah! Stop playing with a P! Stop playing with a P! Stop playing with a P! Stop playing with a P!